Hi guys, welcome back. If you haven't seen any of my videos, my name is Sullivan and my channel is called The Sullivan Pursuit. I have been traveling for almost 2 years and I have been to 37 countries. So today's episode is on long haul flights. I've had my fair share all the way from like a 12-hour flight to even a 72-hour flight. So they're rough, but I promise they can be bearable, and these are my top tips. I'm sure I'm not mentioning everything, so if you have other things to mention for people, please leave them below in the comments. And yeah, let's all work together to get through, holy crap, it's windy, to get through these really long haul flights. All right, enjoy. Okay, so my number one tip is to have a plan. This is kind of going back to the entertainment sector. So when you're getting on these long flights, you know they're going to be like 14 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours. What you do is you make an hourly plan, and so each hour is something different just to amuse yourself. So I'll put a sample of like what my plan is up in a second. But so for example, I would do, say we were leaving at 7, I'd be like, hour 1, take off, relax, chill. Hour 2, I would put on a movie, watch a downloaded movie, listen to music. Hour 3, I would try to take a nap. If you can't take a nap, just like close my eyes and meditate for the hour. Hour 4, read a book. And you can keep repeating these as well. It's just you want to constantly be doing something different to kind of keep yourself entertained, because if you're just sitting there being like, what do I do, that 14 hours is gonna feel like a lifetime. So I think it's really imperative that you keep trying new things. You make your plan. I'll put a sample of one of my plans from, I think it was a 16-hour flight. So yeah, that is tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 2 is a little out there, but it's really helped me on these long flights. Get yourself an inflatable neck pillow, not one of those microbead ones, because as the flight goes on, you can't get comfortable, you can't adjust it. Whereas with an inflatable pillow, you can blow it up to be as hard as you want, or you can make it softer so you can lay down harder. So I really think an inflatable pillow is perfect for these long haul flights. And in addition to being really nice for long haul flights, they fit in your baggage very easily. The tip I have for an inflatable neck pillow is to do it before everyone boards the plane. So as soon as you get to your seat, you start blowing that thing up, because it does take about maybe a minute or 2 to blow up. And if there's a lot of people in the row and you're just sitting there like, it can be quite a bit uncomfortable. So I say as soon as you get to your seat, blow that thing up. Tip number 3, a lot of times if you're backpacking, you don't have a lot of time to figure out what the airline is offering meal-wise, especially if it's a long flight. And some of them don't offer much. Like they'll give you a bag of chips and some free water, and some of them will give you 3 full meals. So my suggestion is when you get to the airport, stock up on your snacks and your drinks. I definitely, for me, when I'm in the air, I kind of just want to like be comfortable, and so it's my cheat day. I get candy, I get chips, I get soda pop. Like I like to spoil myself a little bit, because it's like I know it's going to be a rough ride. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and get some things that are yummy to look forward to, and also include that in your plan. But like at 4 hours and 30 minutes, I get to dive into my Snickers bar and Skittles. Okay, next we have making sure that you bring a personal bag. Most airlines will let you bring a personal bag, so I would go ahead and bring something around this size. And then you're gonna carry everything I just mentioned with the layers, so you're gonna put your extra layers in it. So when you go through the airport, you're probably gonna be wearing your jacket and your underlayers, but if you wanna take your jacket off because you're sweating while pulling your suitcase, just make sure you have a little bit of room. You're also going to want to bring in this bag your chargers, because most airplanes do have USB ports. Headphones, crucial. I would bring, if you have an iPhone headphones as well as the computer headphones. Windy. I would also bring a set of normal computer headphones, because a lot of the airplanes only have the port for a normal headphone set, or bring an adapter up to you. I'd also bring a beanie in case your head gets cold. A book to add to your list of things to do. If you're going on an adventure, try reading a book about where you're going. It makes things interesting and you can get a little excited about where you're going. And you can stay interested in the book longer. For now, because of everything happening, got your coronavirus mask, passport, crucial. Always keep this on you. I bring my laptop because I like to do a little bit of photo editing, as well as just like some fun things, some journaling and stuff. And then, because usually if you're on a long haul flight, you're going to somewhere that you're not from, so I would bring a pen so that you could do immigration forms. Also, if you're an artist, it might be nice to bring like some pencils and a sketchbook, and then you can use some of that time to draw. So tip number 5 is a little bit self-explanatory, but just make sure that you download your music. So you go on your Spotify or whatever music you have, make sure you have playlists, because listening to music can definitely make it easier to get through a long flight. Podcasts are also an excellent option. If you have an iPhone, you can go into the Apple Podcast and you can download TED Talks, you can download your nature podcast, self-improvement podcast, whatever you're into. Download those podcasts. Also, if you're into learning a foreign language, you can download podcasts that start teaching you a language, so you can use that time on a flight to get a head start on learning a different language. So tip number 6 is layers. I think comfortability is crucial to making sure that you have a good flight. So bring these layers, whether it's hot or not, that way you can be comfortable. So I recommend starting out with, for girls at least, guys just wear like a tight tank top, but like a little bralette like this, because it's comfortable, you don't feel like you have to change, and also like if it gets hot, you're not going to be sweating up there. Then on top of that, I would do a semi-tight tank top, such as this. Then I would do a little bit of looser tank top like this. Then I would put on a jumper kind of like this in case it's just a little cool. And finally, I would carry a big, like comfy jacket that you can put on in case it's really, really cold. Also, the great thing about these jackets is like if your pillow isn't enough, you can use them as a pillow. Or if it's cold on the plane and your legs are cold, use it as a blanket. So it's like, there's so many things to do with clothes. Like, I highly recommend them. And you never know who you're gonna get sitting next to on a plane, so you could be kind of squashed in your seat with a lot of people around you, and then you could be really hot. So you wanna have these like lower layers on as well, so that if you are hot, you can just chill in that. On the other hand, you could be the only person in your row and it could be a freezing plane, so you want to be prepared for any temperature. Bonus tip, I know sometimes it costs money, but if possible, always sit at the window seat, because 1, you have something to lay on, and 2, you can be able to experience the amazingness of seeing a sunrise, a sunset from the air, which people would pay it as an experience on its own with a helicopter. So just appreciate the experience of like being able to see out the window. So I highly recommend getting the window seat if possible, because it's a whole nother experience. So those are my tips on how to survive a long haul flight, and I hope that as things are opening up, you guys are precautious but also enjoying yourself and making these flights bearable, because I've actually grown to enjoy a longer flight as it gives me time to just relax and chill, and I can plan a bit. So yeah, for next time, I'll see you next Monday, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe.